When I say conversion rate, I bet you instantly think of one of two things. Either turning your visitors into leads or subscribers, lead generation, or turning your visitors into customers or generating sales. And as important as these two types of conversions are for any website, hunting after those can make us forget about the conversion that comes first and is much, much more important. Watch this video to see what this first and vital conversion is and how to increase the conversion rate on your site. Hi, I'm Shane from IAMimpact.com, and this first and vital conversion I'm talking about is attention. No matter what your website is, the first thing you need to do online is you need to get your visitors' attention. And the internet is quite a unique landscape in that sense, because the internet is a place of extreme abundance. For any place that your visitor can be, there are a million other similar places they could also be. And the result of this is that people online have very little patience, and they're very selective about who they actually give their attention to. It's basically a question of trust. Do they trust you enough to give you enough attention to even start reading your content, let's say, maybe the content of your sales letter, which they need to read if they can ever hope to become your customers. So the first conversion you need to achieve is you need to convert visitors from people who are unsure and are about to leave to see if there's a better alternative and a place that more deserves their attention, and convert them into people who have enough trust in you and in your website to at least pay attention, start reading, and start consuming your content. The tricky thing about this conversion is that it isn't very easily measured. Not like lead generation or sales. Obviously, it's quite easy. When someone becomes a customer, you certainly notice that, and it's easy to measure that, and it's easy to crunch numbers and draw nice stats and so on. Whereas there isn't a way to clearly measure the point where someone makes that internal decision, which is often even a subconscious decision that says, okay, this place is worth my attention, I'm going to stick around. Of course, one indicator is the bounce rate. If you have pages with very high bounce rate, that's an indication that people aren't even paying attention. And other indicators are actually the other conversions that you're measuring. If you successfully capture more people's attention, the result will be that you get more leads and or more sales, whatever your ultimate conversion goal is. Well, I can't give you an easy way to measure this first conversion, to measure your visitors' attention. What I can give you is a checklist of items that you can optimize to improve how many people's attention you capture on your website. So, step number 1, page loading speed. How long does it take for your website to load? This is an extremely important factor, because the easiest way to lose someone's attention and the easiest way to lose people before they even ever start consuming your content is to make them wait. Make sure that pages on your website load as fast as possible. And I've actually written a whole guide on how to do this on your own website, which I'll link to below this video. Point number 2, first impressions. And this is mainly a question of design. Just like first impressions are really important when we meet people and we make snap judgments about people, whether we like it or not, within seconds of seeing them, the same is true for a website. So the first things that visitors see on your website are, does it look nice? Is it a good, trustworthy looking design? Does it look like a place where they want to spend more time? And especially if you're asking for money in any kind of way, does it look professional, right? We do not like to buy things from a website that looks like it was built by people who don't know what they're doing. So a certain, level of just nice design, clean design, professional and trustworthy looking design goes a long way in earning people's initial attention. Point number 3, what is the most eye-catching element on the page? To find out about this, the best way to do this is to do a 5-second test. And I'll link below to a service where you can actually have other people do 5-second tests on your website and give you reports about what they saw and what they remember. So the way this works is you basically show someone your website, the above the fold part of your website, for 5 seconds, close it again, and then ask them what they saw and what they remember. Ideally, what people should see during those first 5 seconds should include a headline that makes a clear statement about what happens next. So it should be a headline that's enticing, that's first of all clear to see, where they see, okay, here's a headline, and they start reading, and it is enticing them to keep reading. It makes a clear promise, or maybe arouses curiosity of some sort, and makes them want to read the first paragraph below, or maybe click play on the video below, or something like that. This actually brings me back to a design issue, because it's quite astonishing to me how often I've lately seen websites that have huge sliders at the top of everything. So I don't even see a headline, I just see it. And here's the thing, in the first 5 seconds, what I see is a huge empty area and a loading spinner, right? And the 5 seconds are up before the first slide of a boring stock image or whatever it is appears, and I have no idea what I'm actually looking at. So this is an example of how to make it very, very ineffective. And a good old large bold text headline is far more effective than some weirdly animated slider image. Point number 4, the opening of your content. This is usually going to be either the opening paragraph or the first few seconds of video or the first few seconds of audio that people start consuming, assuming you've gotten enough of their attention that they go, okay, I'm not just going to leave right away. You've still not won them over. So now they start reading, they start watching, they start listening. And here again, you have to have something that tells them what they'll get next, arouses their curiosity, and makes them want to keep reading, keep watching, or keep listening. Okay, a typical mistake here would be in a video to have some branding, logo, animation thing with a jingle that takes up the first 5 to 10 seconds of the video, and then the content starts. If you want to have animated logo jingle stuff, have some kind of an opening first, and then do your animated logo jingle stuff. That's once you've already won the viewer's attention and told them what they will get if they keep watching. Finally, point number 5 is navigation. That might seem a bit counterintuitive, because navigation, you would think, well, that comes afterwards, right? But what often will happen is that after a quick initial look at the page, people will start skimming, right? Maybe skim through your article. And they might, if you've piqued their interest, they might instantly start looking, well, this looks okay. Is there other stuff here that is the kind of stuff that I'm looking for? Maybe skim down to the bottom of the page, and having a clean, good navigation along the bottom of the page that, let's say, leads to your contact form or leads to some of your most important pages can be very, very useful in, again, keeping people's attention. In other words, make sure that the most important pages on your website are easy to find for people who are skimming through the content looking for those most important links. So those are my 5 steps to optimizing the first and most vital conversion on any website. And in fact, the most important point here is that you remember and keep in mind that the first conversion is attention. Keep this in mind when you're building your websites, keep this in mind, and try to optimize for this when you're creating your next landing page, your next blog post, or your next piece of content. As always, comments and questions are welcome, so feel free to leave a comment below, ask your questions, and we can get a discussion on this topic started. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.